adjunct omelet. Alrighty, regular old pan. Cage-free, free-range eggs. No hormones, no antibiotics. That's very important. So, I'm going to crack 6 eggs on this one. Half a dozen eggs. Because I cracked 6 this morning, and I only have half a dozen left. Alrighty, so they all go in the bowl. Yolks and everything. Remember, yolks aren't bad. Yes, it's all fat, but as long as you're not eating carbs with this, you're not going to absorb this fat. And the cholesterol in eggs isn't as bad as everybody says, because research has shown that whole food organic eggs really don't raise your cholesterol as long as you keep your carbs down. I know I talk a lot about carbs, but if you look into it and you do your own research and you really check into this, it's going to be surprising. Uh-oh, I think we lost our feed. Hey, can someone chat me if you're still getting the feed? Because it looks like I've lost my feed here. But there's another question here. How can you get to fatigue when using no weights or light weights? That's all about form. So, form is key. And if you're using strict form, you don't need a whole lot of weight, especially with the shoulder fly kind of stuff, or those back flies we were doing earlier. You're not going to need much weight at all. And as long as you take your time and you use really good strict form, you're going to do just fine with little to no weight. In fact, those 24-ounce bottles that I was using would get too heavy after about 7 or 8 reps, even for me. And now I'm a big, huge, strong guy. So I would actually put them down and continue. And with my hands, it's amazing how heavy your hands get when you're at fatigue. Okay, so I sprayed the pan with olive oil, and I have one of these self-pump things, so I'm not releasing CFCs into the atmosphere. Okay, I'm still not clear on if this feed is coming through or not. So if you're still tuned in, can you chat me that you're still seeing the feed? Alrighty, pan's hot, oiled up, dump the eggs in there. We're going to let that go. Now, guess what I'm going to put in this omelet? I'm going to use my stir-fry recipe. And I'm going to grate some more cheese. And this is going to be yummity goodness. I'm also going to use the Costco organic seasoning mix. And that's as easy as it gets. How about that? Easy and quick. Okay, so cheese is ready to put on there. And I'm going to wait for this to start to bubble up. So remember, when you see that start to bubble up, then you're going to lift up a little bit. Let some of the stuff that's not cooked, the liquid stuff, run underneath it and start to cook up. And it gets yummy to goodness. Okay, good. We still got the feed. Thank you. Alrighty. So, organic, no salt seasoning from Costco. Yummy goodness. That was the back. Here's the front. Okay. And this stuff, use this stuff in pretty much everything. I use garlic in pretty much everything, and I use black pepper in pretty much everything. So, yummy goodness. So, this is starting to cook. So lift it a little bit, let it come underneath. I know it's hard to see from that far away, but I'm using a spatula and I'm just kind of scooping underneath and then letting the liquid on top run down underneath there. Now, while that's heating up, I'm going to show you something. And I'm going to do an experiment today. I'm going to try to make chocolate pudding. And here's what I found. You know, and this is something you can do on your own. Experimentation and just playing around with food is the best way to find those secret recipes that just are killer. So I've got this fage, I guess is how you say it. And this is a yogurt. It's a kind of a Greekish yogurt. No fat, 7 grams of carbs, and 15 grams of protein. Here's oh, excuse me. I got distracted. Can't let it get too carried away here. So I'm lifting up on the edges, letting it run down underneath there. Yummy goodness. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the no salt seasoning in here and just kind of, just very lightly dust the whole thing. Put that away. And then I'm going to take my stir fry recipe and I'm going to put that in there just on half of it because I'm going to be folding this over. You know what I mean? Oh. Okay. And then my cheese on top of there. That's good stuff. Okay? So now it looks like that. Yummy, 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 yummy. And now we fold it over. Who stole my spatula? Here we go. See? So now it's folded over like an omelet, omelet. Okay, so then, here's a little trick that I learned from an Aborigine in Australia. Paper plate on the top, turn off the stove, set it back on there, just kind of let it cook because some of the egg on top wasn't quite cooked yet. So fold it over, let it cook. Now it's kind of baking in there because the plate's on top. And, oh, here, good chat question. Do you eat 6 eggs in one sitting? Often I do. Usually I'll eat half of this. But if I'm hungry, I'll eat the whole thing. You know, there's, like I say about that carb thing, there's no carbs in it. So you're not going to absorb that fat. You are going to absorb the protein. And even the protein, if it's too much protein, you're not going to absorb the protein, then your metabolism is just elevated and you just burn off more fat. So there's really nothing going wrong. You can't overeat these kind of recipes, and all the hard-bod cafe recipes are like this. You just can't overeat them. I'm eating 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day, and I don't work out that much. I work out about an hour a week, and my job is really pretty sedentary because I'm doing a lot of computer stuff, running in 3 gyms. So, you know, I'm a testament right there. I'm at 5% body fat all the time, eating 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day. It's the kinds of foods that I eat. It's not that I'm a no-carb guy. I'm not an Atkins guy. I get plenty of carbs, but they're all through vegetables. So it's the other stuff, you know, like the breads and the pasta and the potatoes and the starches and the sugars especially that cause the problems, that cause you to get fat, that cause you to get high blood pressure, that cause you to get high cholesterol. And what the research has shown is that when you're cutting down these high glycemic carbs, you're actually getting rid of cholesterol more and reducing your cholesterol number more than taking cholesterol down, eating less cholesterol. And you're reducing your blood pressure more than you would if you were doing a low sodium diet. So it's really about the carbs. And if you want to see some of this research, you can go crackingyourcode.com. That's one of my sites that has a bibliography link down at the bottom of that page. Or you can get the book Good Calories, Bad Calories is a fantastic book that talks about this stuff, and really good research author. And there's lots of sources out there. So another chat question here. Oh good, so we got a testimonial here. I can testify the ratchet technique works, and that after doing it for several sessions, you'll find the weight you can push using your old technique will be higher. Absolutely, good stuff, thank you. Okay, so this is done. Now, check out this. Okay, it just so happens that my paper plate's the exact size of my pan, which is convenient. But so I put the plate on top of there to make it kind of like a little oven, so it bakes it in there, and it cooks up all the egg that might not have been cooked. But look at this. Watch what I do. I flip it over, and look. Omeletta, junta omeletta, omeletta, junta omelette. Huh?